Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Annabelle Fulton, NSMA intern, and I'm here with Alex Abrami. He is from Vermont and was the sports writer of the year. Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you, Annabelle.
So I just have a few questions for you. Starting off, what is something no one knows about you that I might like to know or our viewers might like to know? Kind of a hard one, I know.
Um, I'll say this because this has popped in my head, but I'm a big fan of the television show Person of Interest.
Okay, I haven't seen
Um,
it.
it was on CBS earlier this decade, or 2011 to 2016.
Okay, cool.
Um, but something that might be a little more sports related. I'm a big wiffle ball fan. I play on the beach every summer when my family uh, vacations down in Cape May, New Jersey.
That's awesome. Is
And
there a league
I've
kind
been
of like?
playing. No, it's just between like my dad and his brother and my brother, and I've gotten my son who's now 12 to play, and we just play on the beach end of the day, and been doing it since I was a little kid, and I'm looking forward to doing that this summer because last year we didn't go because of COVID, so sort of broke a streak there. But like this, other than my family, no one knows really knows about that for the most part. But it's a big part of my summer habits.
Is it an everyday type of thing?
It used to when we were younger, we would do like a 7 game series and kind of blow it out like that and
Cool.
play for a couple of hours. But now I think we're a little older, especially my dad and brother. So like I think 1 or 2 games is their max at this point.
And do you use the thin bat or the really thick one that's like,
No, the legit official thin bat. Yep.
wow,
Yeah.
those are thin. That's hard to make contact. Good for you though. That's really fun. And do you drive from, are you in Burlington?
Yeah. We're in the Burlington
Okay.
area. Yeah.
My parents met at UVM.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Do you drive to down to Jersey?
Yeah. So it's from here. It's about an 8.5 hour trip, and I'm used to it.
Right.
So, but it does take a long time, and I try to limit the number of bathroom stops because that adds to the trip. But
Yeah, I can
with a couple of
imagine.
younger kids, you kind of have to stop a few times.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so what was it like moving into the sports kind of part of things? What was it like getting to the point where you are now? Was it linear? Were there ups and downs? Can you kind of explain, you getting into the writing world, especially in sports? How did that go for you?
Yeah, I was always passionate about writing in general, but especially sports. And I went to school at St. Michael's College, which is here in Vermont in Colchester, and I majored in journalism. I My first job at a college was at the Times Argus in Barrie, which is in Vermont. I worked there for a year, and then I left journalism for a couple of years. And I was sort of waiting for an opening at the Burlington Free Press, and as luck would have it, there were a couple openings in the summer of 2007, and I was lucky enough to get one of the positions, and I've been here ever since. Um, and when I first got hired, I didn't have a lot of writing responsibilities. I was mostly a copy editor, laying out pages and taking phone calls for nightly games. So I sort of had to like work up to get more writing assignments. So that took a couple years, but for like the last decade plus, I've been writing mainly on high school sports, and then since 2013, I've been covering the UVM men's basketball team.
Cool. And they've gone to the show a few times, right?
Yeah, it's been I've been to 3 NCAA tournaments in there
Oh,
in my time here. So
that's really cool.
it's a lot of fun. I went to one that stands out. I went to Milwaukee in 2017, and we had a blizzard here in Burlington, and I got out of town just before the blizzard hit,
Wow.
or else I might not have been able to make it. So,
Did,
but that was fun because I was in Milwaukee for a week with the team, and they almost put off an upset against Purdue.
that is really cool. So have they won any first round? games since you've been with them?
No, no, they had that classic upset over Syracuse in 2005. And then since then they've made the tournament a few times, but they've come up short. The last two against Purdue in 17 and then against Florida State in 2019, they came sort of close. You know, they battled with the team for most of the game until like the final eight minutes or so. So they're still searching for that second NCAA tournament win.
But getting there is pretty legit. I go to Wake and we haven't seen the tournament in a while. But what is the favorite part of your job? What do you get the most satisfaction from?
I would say it's probably from readers and from high school athletes. I think when they reach out and thank us for our coverage, I think that means a lot, because I think that it shows that they care about our work and they're reading it. And I sort of strive to cover high school sports to the best of my ability and recognize high school athletes, because you don't get a chance to do that every week. And it's fun to cover that realm because the kids are very passionate, coaches are passionate, and the fan bases are very passionate about their teams and schools. So it's always a pleasant experience covering high school sports.
It's really awesome.
I should say it's always pleasant, because sometimes when you're finishing a story at midnight and you want to get done for, and go to bed, that's not pleasant. But the final product is you're always happy about for the most part.
And it's cool that you can connect with kids who may be going to play somewhere in college or something like that too, and follow their stories. That's really cool. Do you find that high school athletes are a lot more accessible than college athletes to write about?
Yes and no. I mean, like, I think you take a different approach, because high school kids, they're a lot younger at that point in their lives, and you kind of want to more tell their stories and celebrate their accomplishments. College, you want to do the same thing as well, but you do have limited access. You need to go through the college SID department. But once you get to know them, you find that they're very driven, especially at UVM, because they're all Division I athletes. So they've been playing sports all their lives. It's a big part of their everyday routine, and you sort of appreciate the amount of work that they go through and balancing academics at the same time. I think it's a lot to handle, especially in this past year with COVID. But when we're able to tell those stories and show how much they put into their sport and some of the adversity, because we've seen a lot of athletes go through some major adversity type of situations, and to turn around and write those stories, I think that's very meaningful.
That's awesome. And finally, what are you most looking forward to in your career? Are you content with where you're at? Do you see yourself moving, changing jobs? Do you have any plans or?
I don't have any plans to move. I moved to Vermont when I was 11, and
Wow.
I've stayed here. So I've been here 25 plus years, and I like it here. My wife is a Vermont native. We have 2 kids, and they're both, one's 12, the other one's 9. And I think we're happy here. And I really love growing up in Vermont. During my teenage years, I read the Free Press every day, and I think
cool.
it's a dream job. So I love to do it, and I would, and if the Free Press would have me, I would write for another 30 years. So I hope that's the case.
Well, good for you for finding, a place in a company that you love. That's a lot of people work really hard to get that. So that's awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Alex, for joining us today, and have a good day, everyone.